Welcome back, students. So today we will going to discuss a very important property that is called as ionic compound, ionic bond and its properties. That is very important. So please listen to the whole video very carefully. Now in case of a chemical bond, only the electrons of the outermost shell of an atom are involved, and in the process each atom attains a stable nearest noble gas configuration. Like you have sodium in your outermost shell, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. So what can happen, that one electron will lost and it will transform to Na plus. So outermost configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So look at the valence shell, 2s2, 2p6, it becomes the noble gas configuration. Where would that atom go? It go to chlorine. It has what? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So what can happen in case of chloride ion? So you will have one electron transfer from sodium to chlorine, so it becomes 3p6. So chloride ion is the noble gas configuration. Na plus has the noble gas configuration. So an ionic bond is what? The formation of an ionic bond would primarily depend upon the ease of the formation of the positive and negative ions from their neutral atom. Chlorine atom becomes chloride ion, sodium becomes sodium cation. The arrangement of the positive and negative ions in the solid, that is the lattice in the crystalline compound, and how these ions then transform into a lattice. Now look at that. Now sodium has configuration of outer 3s1, magnesium has configuration of 3s2, neon has what? Neon has configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So neon here is common. Okay, sure about that or not? So what can happen here now? Aluminium has 3s2, 3p1, silicon has 3s2, 3p2, phosphorus has 3s2, 3p3, sulfur has 3s2, 3p4, chlorine has 3s2, 3p5. Now here these atoms, they tends to gain electron, and these atom tends to lose electron. Like sodium lose electrons to give you sodium cation, calcium lose 2 electron to give you calcium cation, chlorine atom will accept the electron to give you chloride ion, so Na plus Cl negative is ionic compound. Similarly, calcium sulfide, how it is formed? Calcium will lose 2 electron and sulfur will gain these 2 electron. So calcium sulfide is also is ionic compound. Are you sure? So metal will lose electron, metal atom will lose electron, and non-metal atom will accept electron. That's how the ionic bond comes into picture. So it is an electrostatic attraction between the cation and the anion. So ionic bond is formed by complete transfer of electron from a metal to a non-metal, and all this happens just to what? Just to complete the octet. Now condition for the formation of the ionic compound, that what are the essential conditions that are required for the formation of an ionic compound? that electronegativity difference between the two combining atoms must be large. We already discussed it in periodic property that if electronegativity difference between the two elements is more than 2, then what? Definitely that bond will be formed as an ionic compound. Okay, so that is possible only if one of them is metal, the other should be a non-metal. Okay, so that is very easy. Similarly, ionization enthalpy, the energy required to remove the most loosely bound valence electron is called as what? It is called as ionization enthalpy. So it must have electropositive arrangement and it should have low ionization enthalpy. The electropositive element, like you have sodium, potassium, these are metals, they have low ionization enthalpy. But if you can say that iron or cobalt or nickel, all these metals have what? They have very large ionization enthalpy. Second, the electron gain enthalpy of the non-metal should be very, very large. Okay, so it means it is basically halogens and the upper p block elements like oxygen, sulfur or phosphorus, that can be possible. Lattice enthalpy must be high. Lattice enthalpy must be high. Later on we will discuss that all these aspects came into picture while calculation the lattice enthalpy in case of Born-Haber cycle. Okay, that is the thermodynamic method to determine the lattice enthalpy. Very, very important concept that is. What is lattice enthalpy? The lattice enthalpy of an ionic compound is defined as the energy required to completely separate 1 mole of a solid ionic compound into gaseous constituent ions. Now what do you mean by that? Now let us suppose that here what happens is solid in substance in solid state. The amount of heat required to break this lattice and transform M into M plus gaseous cation and X into gaseous anion. Okay, so you are completely separating the constituent cation and anion of the ionic substance. The amount of energy required to separate 1 mole of cation and anion in 1 mole of the ionic compound. You may call it reverse also, that it is the amount of energy required when the requisite number of cation and anion they come close together to form 1 mole of the lattice. So you can choose either in the terms of reverse direction or in the forward direction. Both definitions are acceptable. So here, so we will read a second also. The process involves both attractive forces between the ions of the opposite charge and the repulsive force between the ions of the like charge. Now a cation will attract an ion, but a cation will repel the other cation and an ion will also repel the other anion. So both the interaction, that is attractive and repulsive interaction, must be taken into account while defining the lattice enthalpy. The solid crystal being three-dimensional, it is not possible to calculate the lattice enthalpy directly from the interaction of forces of attraction and repulsion alone. The factor associated with the crystal geometry also taken into account. Why? Because you have to take into consideration both repulsive interaction as well as the attractive interactions. Now factors affecting the lattice energy of any compound. Lattice energy is equal to 1 by distance between the cation and an ion. R plus R negative is what? Distance between the cation and an ion. Lattice enthalpy. Lattice enthalpy proportional to charge on the cation into charge on the anion. Multiply of both of them. Where charge on the cation in terms of electronic charge and charge on the anion in terms of the electronic charge. Okay, sure. Now the most important equation for the lattice enthalpy is the Born-Lande equation. Okay, and Born-Lande equation is what? It is multiply of this factor, this portion. Avogadro number Na is Avogadro number, m is Mendeleev constant, z is the charge on cation, z minus is charge on anion, E square is charge square, 4 pi epsilon naught. 4 pi epsilon naught is known as K, and this is repulsive. So this is repulsive interaction. Okay, and these are attractive. AI stands for attractive interaction and Ri stands for repulsive interaction. Okay, so lattice enthalpy taken into consideration both these points, where m is called Mendeleev constant, depends upon the lattice, and n is called Born exponent. Its value will depend upon the electronic configuration of the ions involved. Okay, I will tell you the values of these. So there are factors to consider for the evaluation of lattice energy and treatment by Born and Lande. What that treatment known as? That while calculating the lattice energy of crystalline solid, they derived an electrostatic potential of the ionic lattice and a repulsive potential energy terms. So this is attractive potential energy term and that is repulsive term. So when both are combined, the net value comes. Okay, I am repeating once more, and that value is what? Born-Lande equation is what? Lattice enthalpy is U Avogadro number into Mendeleev constant into charge on cation into charge on anion into E square, that is 1.6 10 power minus 19 coulomb, divided by 4 by pi epsilon naught into R. R is the distance between cation, radius of cation plus radius of anion. So you can see it is closest range of the when they are touching each other, and 1 minus 1 by n, where n is called the Born exponent. Born exponent is typical between 5 to value 12 and determined experimentally. The value is related to the electronic configuration of the ion involved. Are you sure about that or not? Clearly understood that? So I am repeating once more. Lattice in Born-Lande equation, Avogadro number into Mendeleev constant m, charge on the cation into charge on anion divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R into 1 by 1 minus n. 1 by 1 minus n is called repulsive interaction, while this portion is called the attractive interaction. Na is Avogadro number, m Mendeleev constant, z charge on cation, z minus charge on anion, E is charge value, epsilon naught is permitted space, and R is the closest distance of approach. Now we have already discussed with you that the value of n is the value of Born exponent. Now what is the value of Born exponent? For NaCl the value is 9.1, for NaBr the value is 9.5, for lithium bromide the value is 8.7, for helium type of configuration the value is 5, for neon type configuration the value is 7, for argon type configuration is what? Value is 9, for krypton the value is 10, for xenon the value is 12, for lithium fluoride the value is 5.9. Now you can see that all these values are find out experimentally by taking into account the nearest neighboring group participation values. Okay, So these values depend upon the configuration, that which ion has what type of configuration. Now this n value now you can put from here, okay, while calculating the numerical. This value is of theoretical use only. I am just giving you the information so that you have the knowledge. Otherwise, simply the value depend upon the product of two charges divided by radius square. Now here also the value of Mendeleev constant m is given to you. These are the various values of m given to you. Okay, m is the value of Mendeleev constant. Mendeleev constant will depend upon the type of crystal possessed by the compound. Now most in your course, most of the cases will be of NaCl, CSL type and hexagonal type only. Others will come into account. So in NaCl, Mendeleev constant is 1.74. In CSCl type, the value is 1.76, and in hexagonal it is 2.244. Okay, this values, okay, is of importance so that you can determine the accurate value of lattice enthalpy theoretically. Okay, all these values are determined by taken into account that what is the repulsive and attractive interaction that are present in a compound. Now next thing is about the Born-Haber cycle. Now that is the thermodynamic way. It is a thermodynamic method to determine the lattice enthalpy, that is called as lattice in energy. Now because it depends upon thermodynamics, so what is that? That enthalpy of formation is equal to what? Enthalpy of formation of the compound will be first enthalpy of sublimation plus enthalpy of bond dissociation plus enthalpy of ionization plus actually the value is written, so plus is enthalpy of electron gain plus lattice enthalpy. Now these two values, so 1, 2, 3, these two values represent what? These three values represent energy required, and 4 and 5, these are the energies. So what is delta H sublimation? That is sublimation enthalpy. That is bond dissociation energy. Okay, that is ionization enthalpy. That is electron gain enthalpy. UL stand for lattice enthalpy and this stand for enthalpy of formation of the compound. Now let's look at one more picture, that is if you taken sodium, that is the first step, and transform into the gaseous phase. This is enthalpy of sublimation. If you taken chlorine gas and dissociate into atom, that is enthalpy of what? Enthalpy of bond dissociation. So that is sublimation, that is dissociation. Next step will be from the gaseous sodium atom we will remove one electron, that is called as ionization. Fourth step is when chlorine atom it accepts one electron and becomes chloride anion, that is electron gain. So this is energy releasing step. Number 4 is energy releasing step. Number 5, when cation and anion they come close together, they will form the solid substance. So that is lattice energy. So that is also what? Lattice energy. So tick mark 4 and 5 are the steps in which energy is released. So the whole process can be what? It is enthalpy of formation is equal to what? Delta H1 plus half delta H2. Why? Because only one atom is required. So you divide by 2, you will get the answer. Plus delta H3 plus, actually it is energy release, so minus delta H4 plus minus delta H5. In most of cases it is energy released, but enthalpy of formation in most of the ionic compound is negative. It means step number 4 and 5 energy release is more than the energy required. That's why if we go to the first step when we started the class, the essential condition for the formation of the ionic compound is that compound must be low ionization enthalpy, low sublime enthalpy, and the non-metal should have low heat of dissociation and high heat of electron gain. So remember all those properties in your mind. Now if the detailed structure of the compound is not known to you, then you can use the Kapsukkini equation to determine the value of lattice energy also. Okay, Kapsukkini equation. The value says that the value is 1.202 into 5 V into charge on cation into charge on anion divided by radius of cation by anion multiplied by 1 minus 13.4 by radius of cation and anion. V is the number of ions per formula unit in the compound. Okay, you can say that. Okay, let us suppose for NaCl 1 cation 1 anion, so answer is 2. For CaCl2, the 1 cation 2, so answer is 3. For KCl also answer is 2. For magnesium sulfate the answer is again 2, but for magnesium chloride the answer is 3. So like that one you can have the values. So that value is not of use. Why? Because Born-Haber equation is the thermodynamic data which can give you the accurate information. Okay, but as a student you should know that some other values are also known. Now one more equation that is called as Born-Mayer equation is also known to you. Okay, Mayer showed that exponential power R by rho, where rho is a constant dependent on the compressibility of the crystal. Okay, and it gives you a better repulsion term than 1 by R power n, where n is called the Born exponent. We already discussed that. Using the more exact repulsive interaction, the Born-Mayer equation is, if you see that is Avogadro number, Madelung constant, cation, anion, E square by 4 pi naught epsilon R naught. that value is attractive interaction similar to that of Born-Lande equation. So only thing is that this is Born-Mayer. So this is new formula where the rho value is 30 picometer, works well for all alkali metals halide like NaCl, KCl, lithium chloride, lithium bromide, RBr, cesium iodide, like that. And other simple cases R naught values are in picometer. Okay, so these values can also give you an idea about the lattice enthalpy. Okay, these are only of the theoretical concentration. They don't carry much weightage in the actual examination. No question will come from this portion. Now next thing is about the properties of what? Properties of the ionic compound. Ionic compounds have high boiling and melting point as they have a very strong electrostatic attractions. So very strong and large energy is required to break the bond. The electrostatic force of attraction between opposite charged ions lead to the formation of the ion. Ionic compounds are all in a very well designed crystals. These compounds are brittle and break into small pieces easily. Electrolyte compounds usually dissolved in water and insoluble in oil, petrol and kerosene. Okay, ionic compounds do not conduct electricity in solid state but in molten state and in aqueous medium, they conduct. Okay, remember that important point. So what happens? Ionic compounds do not conduct electricity in solid state but in molten state and in aqueous medium they conduct. In comparison to molecular solids, ionic compounds have high enthalpy of fusion and vaporization. They have high enthalpy of fusion and vaporization. You have to memorize that. Again repeating it, ionic properties of the compound, physical properties is how much? Due to the presence of very strong attractive forces between the positive and the negative ions, ionic compounds are solids and hard to break. They generally break into pieces. Melting and boiling point is generally very high because of the strong electrostatic attraction. Solubility of ionic compounds, they are soluble in water whereas insoluble in petrol gases. Conduction of electricity, I told you just now. Okay, in molten state they conduct electricity as the ions are free to move. Are you okay with that? Now some general properties are also like that also, that at room temperature ionic compound exist as a solid state. Okay, but they never exist in gaseous phase. Isomorphism. Simple ionic compound does not show isomerism, but isomorphism is their important characteristics. Crystals of different ionic compound having similar structures are isomorphic to each other, like FeSO4 4H2O, MgSO4 7H2O. Okay, are you getting that or not? So they are what? They are called as isomorphs. What they are called as? Hydration. Hydration means all the simple salt dissolved in water producing ions, and consequently the solution conduct electricity. Since Li plus is very small, it is heavily hydrated. This makes the radius of the Li plus ion large and hence it moves very slowly. In contrast, the Cs plus ion is least hydrated because of its very large size, and so the radius of C plus ion is smaller and radius of Li plus lithium is very large. So hydrated Cs plus move faster and electricity conductance is more. Okay, whenever a metal is dissolved in water, it feels very strong attraction from the water molecule because of its high dipole moment, or you can say high dielectric value. So M plus cation is attracted by the water molecule. Similarly, S negative also. Why? Negative end of the water molecule are attracted towards the cation, while the positive ends are attracted towards the anion. Next thing is called hydrolysis. That is also very important. Hydrolysis means reaction of water molecule and which leads to the breaking of OH bond into H plus and OH ions. While terms hydration means surrounding of the polar molecule or water molecule, but in hydrolysis there is a complex formation with the water molecule or reaction between the water molecule and the salt ion take place. For example, like NaCl undergo hydration, it undergo dissolution, but if you take metal like what? Metal like you will have rubidium chloride, strontium chloride, or you have calcium chloride, then what happens? They will undergo hydrolysis. Why? Because their cation will interact with water. Hydrolysis means reaction with the water. Now reaction of the water can take place by two mechanisms: the coordination bond formation or by the hydrogen bond formation.